Hello, friends, and welcome to the Windmill, and welcome back to Uniquely Generic, the show where I talk about video game titles and names, give them a rating, and then see if I can come up with a better title myself. And in today's episode, we will be returning to the N64 library for 5 more random games. So, what game are we gonna kick it off with today? Oh, well, this is kind of a pleasant surprise. Game number 1 is Clay Fighter 63 and a third. Now, the only obvious complaint with this is that it's long-winded, it doesn't exactly roll off the tongue, but it is incredibly fun to say, and I really like the fact that it's making fun of that trope of N64 games having 64 in the title. That more than makes up for that small complaint. Like, this title is great. It's not generic. The funny part is, if they had just called it Clay Fighter 64, I would have been okay, it's generic, but it gets the job done. But Clay Fighter 63 and a third is great. I love that title to bits. And the game's pretty fun too, so maybe give it a shot. But we're gonna move on. Game number 2. I was not expecting this, but we have Lego Racers. Now, as a title, I don't really see anything wrong with that. It is a little bit generic, but that doesn't mean bad. Um, can I come up with a better name for Lego Racers? Nah, not really. See, usually when I pull these titles up, it invokes something in me, and I feel like talking about it. But in the case of Lego Racers, I can't really think of anything to say. Like, I don't know if that makes it a good title or not. Like, it doesn't. The word, like, when I look at the title, Lego Racers, and I read it out, I know what I'm getting into, but at the same time, it's so vague that you really don't know what you're getting into outside of it being a racing game involving Legos. So, I don't know. But I think I've said enough about that title, so we're gonna move on. Next up, we have a game called Hexen. That's it. The game's called Hexen. Now, that title doesn't really say much to me outside of it sounding sort of dark and mysterious. And the game itself is sort of a cross between the gameplay of Doom and the setting of, say, an Elder Scrolls game. I mean, it's basically Doom, but in a magical medieval setting. And it's a very dark and mysterious game, so the title Hexen works pretty good for it. As far as a better name, I can't really think of one. Now, I'm not sure, but I do believe this game was originally a PC game, so they could have just put 64 on it, call it Hexen 64, but I'm glad they didn't, because by itself, Hexen's a good name. Short, sweet, to the point. If they had thrown 64 on the end of it, I would have called it generic. Anyway, give this game a try if you can. This is one of them games that I'd like to see an HD remake on, like, the Unity engine or something. Especially since this game suffers from the N64 controller and its poor design. But this is a game that I don't see a lot of people talking about, so if I can spread the word a little bit, that'd be cool. Anyway, we're gonna move on to game number 4. So, game number 4 is actually going to be more than one game, because there are, I think, 4 Tetris games for the N64. I have 2 here. I have The New Tetris, which I'm just going to go right out and say I hate that name. I would, like, frankly, I would have rather them called it Tetris 64. And that's saying something. And I also have Magical Tetris Challenge, which is basically just the same game, except in Magical Tetris Challenge, you get to play against Disney characters. Woohoo! Now, can I come up with better names for these 2 games? Yes, I can. For the new Tetris, I've already said it. Just call it Tetris 64. And for Magical Tetris Challenge, they could have called it Tetris with Disney, or Disney's Tetris Challenge, or, something along those lines. Other than that, I can't say much. It's Tetris, so inherently they're not bad games, they're just bad names. But it's time to move on to game number 5. And for game number 5, we have F-Zero X. Now, F-Zero X is a pretty good title. It harkens back to the old Formula 1 or F1 races, and adding an X to F-Zero just sounds nice. And frankly, I can't think of a better name for a game like F-Zero X. The name just says it all. If you know anything about F-Zero, you know it's high-speed racing. And I'm going to come right out and say it. I don't think F-Zero and Star Fox get enough love these days. It'd be really nice to see a new Star Fox or a new F-Zero game on the Switch. Just going to put that out there. Like, I know these series don't get quite the love as like Mario Kart and stuff like that, but still, they've got their fans. Anyway, I could talk all day about how F-Zero and Star Fox need to be updated, but that's not what this video is about. And with that, I think I can end this video. So, thank you everybody so much for watching. As always, take it easy, and I will see you next time. Peace.